What is going on, everyone? BLN437, and today we're going to be talking about the National League Division Series game, the only National League Division Series game that is left, which is the Washington Nationals and the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley. Steven Strasburg was the starter in today's game against Jake Arrieta. Now, the original start was supposed to go to Tanner Roark. Well, actually, it was supposed to go to Strasburg, but then it went to Tanner Roark because Strasburg had gotten sick. And sorry, guys, that was my phone. He had gotten sick, and Strasburg, it seemed like Strasburg said he couldn't go. He was able to go today after a days of rest, 1 day of rest. And I mean that gave Strasburg a bad look, and it's great that he pitched this game. He pitched this do or die game for the Washington Nationals here today, because he would have gotten so much heat. So would have Dusty Baker, but he did pitch this game, and he was wonderful from the first pitch on. I mean, he had everything going. He had fastball command, he had the curveball, he had the changeup going. I mean, this guy was filthy. And to be honest with you, this was probably the biggest game I've seen Steven Strasburg pitch in my life. I mean, he's pitched in some big games, but this was the biggest one with the biggest, spotlight on him, and he showed up and he performed well. He performed really, really well. I way better than I thought he was going to perform. So he ended up blanking them. He ended up blanking the Chicago Cubs for 7 innings. They couldn't do anything against him. They got a couple of hits, but they just couldn't do anything with those hits or with anything that they got from Steven Strasburg at all. I mean, the Nationals scored a run off of an error. I believe the error was off of Addison Russell. And then after that, they played a clean game as well, the Chicago Cubs. But Jake Arrieta just couldn't give them the length that they needed out of him in the in the game. I mean, he lasted, I believe he lasted only 4 innings, and then they brought in Lester, or 4 1/3 inning. I don't remember what it was, but they had to bring in Lester early in the game, and Lester kudos to Lester. He practically just shut them down. They could do nothing against him either. Strasburg and Lester and were just rolling. He picked up his teammate Jake Arrieta. There was even one play in the 8th inning, I believe it was, where he gets a pickoff move, I believe it is. And I could have sworn, that when Murphy got that single, and then John Lester just kept throwing over the ball, and as the Chicago Cubs fans were just cheering just because he was able to throw over to first base, but he actually got Daniel Murphy, and then they decided to take him out of the game. Or if it wasn't Daniel Murphy, I think it was Zimmerman. Actually, my bad. It was Zimmerman, I believe, that he got out. It was Zimmerman, but they took him out of the game after he gave up the single to Murphy. And like I said, at this point, it was a 1-0 game. I thought that when he got that pickoff in the 8th inning, that was a momentum-changing type of play, that the Cubs were going to get the momentum from that. They were going to be able to get out of that inning and score some runs. That did not happen, as Carl Edwards Jr. didn't have his command. He walked Rendon, then walked Wieters, and then they had to bring in Wade Davis. And at that point, when they brought in Wade Davis, he gave up the grand slam and to Michael Taylor, which was the big blow of the game. And this is what I told you guys, and I said it in the video, I believe yesterday, which was the Nationals needed 7 innings. You can't trust that bullpen. Strasburg gave them 7 beautiful innings. On top of that, they gave him the run support even after he left the game, or right before he was about to leave the game, since they weren't going to bring him back in for the 8th. And I told you that the Cubs had a stronger bullpen, but the Cubs bullpen did not show up. And I mentioned guys like Carl Edwards Jr., he didn't show up. I've mentioned Wade Davis. He didn't show up. He had a chance to get out of a bases loaded situation, and I'll get to that in a minute. But he just didn't. He didn't have it. And then you just had, you had Lester, who was the only guy that did anything out of your bullpen. But no Wilson, no Koji, no anybody was coming out of that pen, which was weird. I thought that one of those guys would come out of the pen, but they didn't get the momentum change there. They ended up bringing in Wade Davis, and that was an interesting move by Joe Maddon. I don't understand why he went with Wade Davis at that point in the game. It's the 8th inning. You're down by 1 run. You usually want to bring in your closer if you're down by a game in the 9th inning to keep it at a 1-run game. Or if it's a tie game in the 9th inning, he did not do that. He brought him in the 8th. I don't mind having closers in the game early if you feel that you need to bring them in the game early, but you gotta make sure that you know what you're doing and that your closer is going to be able to handle that situation. And he just didn't seem comfortable in that situation. And for the second time on national television, at least that I've seen him. Wade Davis has given up a home run. He gave up a home run in the All-Star game, and he gave up a grand slam here in the Division Series game. But the Washington Nationals just flat out outpitched them. They didn't beat them offensively. They just got one big hit, and that was pretty much it. They just got the one big hit, and then they were able to outpitch the Chicago Cubs, whose offense just was shut down by Steven Strasburg. Like I said, they just couldn't do anything against Strasburg. But Game 5 is tomorrow night, or today actually, because this video will be going up the day of the series of Game 5. And these are my keys. I mean, my keys are the same thing that I mentioned in Game 4. The Nationals offense still has to wake up. I mean, they still haven't, besides that grand slam, they really haven't been able to do anything special. Where has Rendon been? Rendon didn't really do much. Zimmerman, yeah, he had Rendon got a walk, but other than that, Rendon didn't really do much. Zimmerman walked, but he didn't really do much. Murphy got a hit, I believe his first hit of the series in the 8th inning. And Harper didn't really do much. So this Nationals team has not really been able to do anything offensively, at least the big guys. And that's a little concerning to me. You had Justin Turner, who got his first hit of the series. You had Jason Worth, who went 0 for 4. You had Harper, who went 0 for 3. Zimmerman went technically 0 for 4, but he got a walk. Daniel Murphy went 5 for 1, but he got the one hit. Rendon got a hit and a walk. Wieters went 0 for 2. And then Michael Taylor got the big grand slam home run. And you're not going to be able to win a Game 5. You're not going to be able to win a series, period, if you can't go out there and you can't do the big things. And I'm sorry, guys, my phone is just acting a little silly. But yeah, you can't go out there and expect to win a big series when you got Justin Turner, who's batting, 0.67. You got Worth batting 0.71. You got Harper batting 133. Zimmerman's batting 188. Murphy's batting 125. I mean, those are key guys in your lineup, and they're not even getting. They don't even have a over 200 batting average. They're stuck in the the low ones or kind of late high ones, and that's not good. That's not good for a team whose wins have come a lot from both pitching but mainly offense as well. Now Matt Scherzer is pitching tomorrow. He's going on 3 days rest, which is great. I think that's the best move for Dusty at this point. You don't want to give the ball to Tanner. You don't want to give the ball to Gio Gonzalez. You want to give the ball to your two aces, your two horses, and that's Strasburg and Matt and Scherzer. And he's going with Scherzer again in game 5. I said that Scherzer should have pitched more in Game 7. I wouldn't have taken him out after that double. I still remain on that stance. He shouldn't have taken him out of the double. That was his game to lose, and you brought in the bullpen. But the key for this game is going to be whether Strasburg can go 7 or 8 innings. Like I said, you need to get the bridge to Manson and Doolittle. Don't trust anybody else in that bullpen besides Manson and Doolittle. And even then, that's still a little scary. But those are the two guys that you try to get the ball to. For the Cubs, it's going to be about just that offense needs to show up again. That offense was quiet against Strasburg, and they were quiet against Scherzer until Scherzer was taken out of the game. So I expect Zobrist to have a big game. I expect Rizzo to have a big game. Bryant needs to start having a big game, but Rizzo's usually been their table starter, so I'm going to say that Rizzo is going to be the guy that the Nationals have to watch out for. As for Washington needs to get, like I said, Turner, Worth, Harper, Zimmerman, and Murphy going in this game, or at least one of those 4 guys or 5 guys that I mentioned. They have to wake up. You can't win with the lack of productivity that you're getting from superstar players that I personally believe. I believe that Bryce Harper is a superstar. I believe that Daniel Murphy's become a superstar second baseman, and Rendon is a good elite hitter as well, along with with Trey Turner. So it's all going to be about whether that Nationals offense can score runs and score them early and often and make sure that they get those bats going, and whether Scherzer's actually going to be able to go and give you length, because he's coming back from a bad hammy, even though he didn't look like his hammy was really bothering him too much, but he is coming back from a bad hammy. You don't really want to push a guy like that after coming off an injury like that as well. You kind of want to be able to get him to relax, not put too much pressure on his legs, and not put too much pressure on anything. But I understand where the Nationals are coming from. I think that they know, just like I said in my video, that this is their last chance, their last big run at the title. because you got Worth, who's up there in age. You got Harper, who's a free agent after the 2018 season. You have Daniel Murphy, who's a free agent after the 2018 season. Weeders hasn't been all that special. Anthony Rendon, we'll see if you can get the same type of consistency from him in 2018 as you did this year. Scherzer's getting up there in age a little bit. He's 33 going on 34. So there's a lot of key pieces here. And if they lose this series, this is Dusty's job. Like I said yesterday, this is Dusty's job. But the Cubs just got to, like I said, the Cubs just got to get their guys going. If they can get Rizzo and Zobrist and Baez going, along with making sure that Carl Edwards Jr. can get some outs, and they can get the ball to Davis in an actual clean situation where Davis doesn't have to worry about when I have to keep the score at 1 or I have to keep the game tied, and you just give him a clean inning where he can close the game out. I trust Wade Davis a lot. I know other people do not, but that's where I'm going. Honestly, that is where I'm going. I'm going with the fact that I believe that Scherzer's gonna have a good game. I don't know. Like the Cubs need those guys to win, but I don't know if the Cubs can do it. The Cubs have shown that they can't beat elite starting pitching right now. At least they haven't been able to do it with Strasburg, and they haven't been able to do it with Scherzer. So in order to do that, you need to have those type of wins, but against those type of games against those guys. And I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I had the Nationals winning this series. I'm going to stick with the Nationals because I had them. I don't like to go against my picks. I like to stick with my picks since I made the pick. And I'm going to go with the Nationals. I think Scherzer's going to have a great game. I think the National offense will finally explode because we've been waiting for that. But only time will tell. But anyways, guys, if you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like down below. I'm going to review this game afterwards. Comment as well. Let me know who you guys think is going to win this game. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you guys later on in the evening for the Nationals and the Cubs.